Your shot at the KFAN Bracket Challenge is back. Go to our contest page and send in your bracket. First place will win $2,000 and a 65-inch TV. Get every pick right, and you could win $1 million. Don't stall. Enter now at KFAN.com. Keyword contest. Driven by Dave Smith Motors, America's only national car dealer.
Couple 13-14 pastime comedies tend to be excited and delighted, as always, to be joined by the legendary one, Mark Rosen here.
Good afternoon.
And then good afternoon to you, too. Colonoscopy yesterday.
Yeah.
I produced 8 polyps, which means I'm the equivalent of former NBA star Sean Kemp. I produce polyps like he produces children.
I've never heard it quite put that way, but, you know.
Let's just hope they're non-cancerous. He didn't see anything that alarmed him.
That's good.
He said, no, this will be fine, but they sent him in for the biopsy, and then I'll find out.
Number one, is that the first time? Is that your first colonoscopy? You had a couple. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm glad you talk about it because it's very important for everyone, not just men, but to continue to listen to your doctors and get the colonoscopy when it's appropriate, and especially if you have a family history. The age changes if you have a family history. It's much younger, but extremely important to stay on top of it. And it's really, much to do.
Do you have a colonoscopy doctor? Because you have a doctor for everything else.
No, I do. I've had. I mean, I don't know. That's what they do. But I've gone to a couple different ones.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. I think
for your colonoscopy?
Yeah, I think I'm doing another year from now. But I got a couple other appointments coming up.
So you changed doctors on the colonoscopy. Was it because you weren't happy with it?
No, one of them retired.
Oh, okay.
So I just went to a different one. And, it was really pretty simple. Obviously, people talk a lot about the prep and, how, it's not a lot of fun. But I still think it's gotten
I enjoyed it.
Easier.
I enjoyed it quite
well. It's honestly.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's mentally, you have to say to yourself, this is healthy. I'm cleaning out my system.
I love it.
And then you go in and,
I can't think of any better way to spend a 20-hour period.
Right. than sitting on the toilet.
Yeah.
You had to get a ride home, or they didn't let you drive home?
Well, no, they don't. I mean, I could have, but I was a little loopy.
I
had a little fentanyl.
Oh, I don't know. I think it was fentanyl.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Was it really?
Well, sure.
Okay. Well, I don't know what it is. I mean, they give you something to knock you out. But, I mean, they do make most of the time they make you sign something to say, look, you're not driving yourself home. And
well, if you don't bring a driver with you, they won't do the procedure.
Right.
They need to see who was your driver.
I know, exactly.
And so I pulled out my G440 K driver that I got from Ping. Tennessee, could I get a rim shot there?
And they accepted that.
No, they said that won't work.
Nah.
I said, well, you're worried about me driving straighter and longer with my G440K from Ping. I do that.
That's very funny.
Thank you.
That's very good. I do like that. Well,
I'm a stand-up comic.
Well, I'm glad you, I'm glad you did it. Kudos. I'm sure you're fine. But again, this is how you avoid bigger problems.
How excited are you that the Vikings signed Aaron Jones?
Well, I'm not doing handstands. I just think it's a smart move. I mean, we know they only have a couple running backs at the moment, and Aaron's getting up there. They're only 31, but that's old in terms of running back. The Vikings, they just announced they restructured his deal, so they're set to release him. But this is being the first official day of the NFL season. He's agreed to a pay cut from his $9 million that he was due to $5.5 million. So, it gives them depth is what it does. I mean, I think him and Jordan Mason are the same guys they had last year. That it hasn't changed, but it gives them another piece that they're obviously going to draft someone. I don't know at what round, but to add to their arsenal and what they have, but
you're sure of that?
Well, I don't know how else. They're not just going to sign. Maybe they'll sign another free agent or something.
Okay, right, sure.
But they obviously need some help in the backfield. This
sounds like it's a weak running back class, though.
Well,
that's what they say.
Yeah, I don't know. You get caught up in that analysis. There's the local kid who played was it from Nebraska? I heard him.
Yeah, Emmett Johnson.
From Eden Park.
He's one of us. Yeah. I heard him on earlier this morning with PA for a little bit.
Oh, he was on with the project.
Yeah. He's really smart kid. I mean, he sounded really with it, understanding his place and how motivated he is. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be the guy, but I think in this day and age, again, when there's a little bit more emphasis on the running game, the running backs. That certainly, you look at no further than the Super Bowl. Who was the MVP? No, again, Walker's no longer with Seattle, but that's who earned the MVP award. But normally goes to the quarterback. It's something. I mean, it's not like, oh my God, they signed Aaron Jones. No, but he's obviously a great guy in the locker room, and he's good for the younger players, et cetera, et cetera. But that's not the reason you bring him back. You bring him back because he can still help the football team, and I think it's that's why they're able to work out a deal. And I'm sure he's very happy to be staying with the Minnesota Vikings.
What do your sources say about Kyler Murray? Most people feel like there's a better than even chance he's going to end up with the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings.
Well, at 3:00 he's going to get released by Arizona, and that's when the official clock is on. And whether or not they make the announcement at that point, I don't know. It could be a half hour later, an hour later. I would be surprised. I mean, he's basically Kyler Murray's run out of football teams other than the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's really no one left that's and Murray has skyrocketed in terms of the odds of landing with the Vikings. I think it's almost a foregone conclusion right now that he's going to be with the Vikings, whether it happens today or tomorrow. I mean, he may want to talk to another team or so, but really, I honestly, after looking at the way the quarterback dominoes have fallen, Pittsburgh still with Aaron Rodgers still out there, not committed, and the Steelers with the new head coach, and Kyler Murray is going to be a Minnesota Viking. That's.
Wait, hold on.
What? I don't think that's an outlandish statement.
But you're saying he's going to be. So you're guaranteeing. You're saying he's going to sign.
I would be 99% sure that he's going to be here. Yeah. Now, I mean, there's always that chance. I mean, but there's nothing he can do from a salary standpoint because he's going to get all his money from Arizona. The Vikings only have to pay him $3 million.
Why is that? Why can't he say, well, yeah, I'll take my money from the Cards, but is there a rule? Can he not say, plus I want another $20 million? Who's got it?
Well,
I mean, serious. Can he do that, or is that not allowed?
I'm not sure it's not allowed. I just
do you have any idea?
I don't think.
Can you rephrase that?
Well, that question's come up to me several times, and I don't have the answer for it because I'm not paying as close attention to the league as I once did. Why does he ever only get $1 million from Minnesota? Why can't he say, well, I got my money from the Cards, but I need $20 million from somebody else to come play for you?
Because it would just come out of what the Arizona's paying.
Okay,
so if the Vikings sign him to a $20 million contract, now he's getting $16 million from Arizona, okay. 20 Minnesota from Minnesota, or excuse me, 16 from Arizona, 20 from Minnesota. So we might as well screw Arizona as much as you can.
I get it. Yeah. I just thought maybe several people have asked, and I didn't have the answer for it.
Russell Wilson did the same thing in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Where he played on the minimum.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Do you think if Kyler Murray is signed by the soon-to-be big game world champion Minnesota Vikings, he has been guaranteed he's the starting quarterback?
No.
Or you don't think so?
No.
What's that? You got some breaking news?
Maybe.
I do think so.
Ted and I had a really spirited discussion yesterday, and I think a lot based on what a lot of fans are saying, and you posed the question. I don't see in any world where KOC, if indeed this goes through and Rob Brzezinski gets this deal done, and again what you just described, a very modest salary to get Kyler Murray, I would be beyond shocked if KOC comes out and goes, Kyler Murray's our starting quarterback. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be he's going to push JJ as it should. It's going to be an open competition. Someone just asked me on Twitter, said, who would you like to see start at quarterback for the Vikings this fall? I said, well, again, assuming that Kyler Murray's going to sign, I said, I'm hopeful that JJ McCarthy will be the starting quarterback. Why? But he has to go out and prove that, number one, he is advanced in every aspect of his game in this year in particular. And number two, his durability is there. But I mean, it's going to be a much different situation now, obviously, than it was having the Carson Wentz's of the world backing him up, where you got a guy. Now, I don't know what Kyler Murray's discussions be like with the Vikings. I'm sure he obviously he's 28 years old. He's used to starting. He wants to play. He's healthy again, and it makes sense that he's the type of guy that would come in and I still think people have some reservations about him kind of fitting into what the Vikings are doing offensively and all that other kind of stuff. I don't get caught up in a lot of it. I think you either got talent or you don't, and I think you can figure it out. But I believe that they got to give JJ every possible. This is his last go at it, I think, for this Vikings team, I think this year, in terms of what he has to prove. Staying healthy and being productive.
Took Sammy Darnold 3 or 4 years.
Well, this is 3 or 4 years. This is 3 years. So, I mean, this is not year number one for him. So, but, it definitely pushes up the competition level for the team. And I think, you asked me, I said, I would be excited about having Kyler Murray on this football team.
Very good. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more to get to here on the Common Man program with Common 10 to be in the legendary one Mark Rosen on the Fan.
It's a Wild Wednesday on the Fan, and we have your shot at tickets to Wild versus Flyers tomorrow. Just use the iHeartRadio app to send us a talk back and tell us which new addition to the team will make the biggest impact down the stretch. Winners will be contacted all day. Get the full details at KFAN.com. Keyword contest.
Couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. These tend to be Mark Rosen here as well. How about those? How about that Wild Club? All they do is win. They have a 5-0 victory over a solid woolly mammoth team out of Utah. They 5 different guys score. Gus Bus gets a shutout, and so now it's just a matter of you're just kind of counting the days down. I mean, and they're it's interesting, even though they've pretty much. They're locked into the playoffs, but yet they continue to put forth a professional effort every night, the opposite of what the team does down at Target.
Lord, don't even get me started on that. I'm glad
I'm going to get you started on that.
That's fine. I'll be happy to weigh in on
I tried to tell you that, but nobody would. It's the Wild were really good, and they again a professional effort from the club.
We talked about that yesterday as well. Will the Wild, since they're not locked into the spot, obviously they can still finish in second place, but. You kind of know they're going to be playing Dallas in the first round, and will John Hines do any load management with his star players down the stretch to kind of keep them fresh as best he can, getting ready for the playoffs? Knowing that you got the guys like Quinn Hughes and Kaprizov and Boldy and the big stars on the team. Is there a benefit? It's obviously a rhetorical question to having him not play as much, or maybe spend a night upstairs watching a game upstairs, just to kind of make sure that these guys are fully healthy when they hit the postseason here in April. I don't know. You don't usually associate hockey with doing that, but they may have a different philosophy about it. But in the meantime, they're going great guns right now. I mean, even that shootout loss they had at Colorado on Sunday was really a well-played game, and again, it reinforces that the Wild not only can compete, but they can play with the best. Well, as it turns out, the best team in the NHL right now, and a team that they're going to have to face at some point, likely in the second round if they get past Dallas. But it's encouraging. They have more depth. They have firepower everywhere, and their defense, their goaltending, they're locked in pretty well right now, and it should hopefully be a long spring. But man, it's going to be tough because Dallas is playing at a really high level.
So
again.
Are we, though.
Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. It's unfortunate. I mean, you can't go down that road again because it doesn't do you any good.
Sorry, we'll beat them. I'm not concerned about that.
Yeah,
I'm not concerned. I like parades. You said there's a 99% chance that Kyler Murray will be with the Vikings. I think there's a 99% chance we win the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh. Why not us? Why not? Why can't be us?
It can be us.
Well, of course it can. This is the best 100%. Chance this team has had ever.
No, there's no doubt this is the most talented team they've had.
I'm as confident as I can be.
Well, I think it's going to be a great spring for the Wild fans, and they deserve it. You get rewarded to have some springtime hockey here. When they have had the rare opportunities to play when the weather's like 60 degrees outside, outside the X Grand Casino now. There's a different vibe, there's a different feeling, and it's a whole different level. And I think that's what the anticipation is right now. And it would be, listen, Dallas is a really, really good team, but I feel like it would just be crushing if the Wild could not get past that first round this year.
Oh,
and they're built for,
they're built different.
Well, they're built for, the long run, long haul right now as well. But that doesn't take anything away from the fact that, this is a great opportunity right now. They have a lot of pieces they just haven't had before.
Do you like parades?
I love parades.
And we could have one. I'm guaranteeing one. There's
June,
a 99%
month of
chance.
June. Okay.
We're going to parade. Now, I don't know if that parade will include the Wolves. That was another, well, you tell me. I didn't watch it.
You're lucky you didn't stay up. First of all, the game didn't start till 10:10, and I thought, well, I'm going to stay up. I was texting with my son out in L.A., and I said,
LeBron must have went off last night,
yeah,
right?
I know. Get you going with the fishing.
What do you mean? Oh, he didn't play.
He hasn't played in a week.
And we still couldn't beat that club?
Well, LeBron's not the best player on the team right now. But
I know, but he's still he's still a great player.
Well, yeah, he has his
without
moments.
him? Oh, man.
Well, it was both teams couldn't hit the broadside of a barn at the beginning of the game. It was really ugly. And the difference was that the Timberwolves continued to play ugly basketball, and the Lakers did not. I went to bed. I mean, I turned it off. I texted my son.
Well, let me tell you what happened. The Wolves decided, well, as long as offense isn't working, why even play defense?
Well,
they gave the game away. They know they're locked into the playoffs, so it's like, well, we don't care, because if you read the account of the game, that's what's said. Their defense went in the tank in the third quarter.
Well, they didn't even have to wait that long, because if you're watching, and I know you didn't, but I mean, they were getting killed on the boards. I mean, the Lakers would miss a shot, and time after time after time, they'd get the offensive rebound, and they're not that big a team. The Wolves front line, I mean, the guys who've disappeared the last two games. I mean, first of all, Edwards was a complete no-show last night. He was 2 for 15, 1 for 10 from three. Jaden McDaniels has been awful of late. Julius Randle has not been good. So you got three key guys in your starters that aren't playing well, and then Nas did okay, and you got a couple guys off the bench that played well, but I'm anxious to see how they bounce back tonight. But it was an awful performance. It was maybe I'm going to say it's their worst game. I thought after they lost to Orlando here on Sunday, all right, they're going out to L.A., they're on national TV late last night. They're going to bounce back a little bit, and they did. They just did the opposite. It was bad. It was really bad.
Can I ask you a question? This is a serious one.
Yeah.
What made you think maybe they can bounce back here? Do you have not this team all year? Well, you said, and I thought maybe they could bounce back from that. If you've been watching the team this year, they're not going to.
They have the fifth best record in the NBA. So, then why would you ask me that question then?
Because
they have the fifth best record in the NBA. That's why they would be bouncing back.
Okay.
They're 40 and 25, but they're not 25 and 40.
Yeah, but apparently they didn't bounce back.
Well, no, they didn't. But it was tonight is
See, to me, it would be surprising if they bounce back. It wouldn't be like, I'm hoping
they haven't played well against, and I'm surprised because Ted was asking me yesterday.
They're 1-9 against the teams are.
Listen, I watched before that because it was a doubleheader on NBC. That's why the game started so late. San Antonio played the Celtics last night in a potential matchup of an NBA Finals type matchup. And my goodness, what a difference in talent right now and the way they're playing and approach the game. It was a terrific game. Brown got kicked out of the game, which I thought was ridiculous. But Wemby is Wemby, and San Antonio is awfully good. So are the Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to win the East. I mean, with all due respect, with Tatum back now, they are really good. And my guy Garza coming off the bench, and but yeah, I like Boston's chances. I know Detroit's been bet. I'm a bet. Who do you want, Detroit?
I'll take the Pistons. I'll take the Pistons.
That's fine. I'll take the Celtics.
$5.
What?
That's how confident I am in Detroit.
My goodness.
You want to do it?
I'm all in.
Closed circuit to Power Trip Bets. You can post that right now. $5. I've got Detroit to win the East.
And I hope, honestly, I hope you win because I'd like to see Detroit, some fresh blood get in there. And the Pistons have had, our guy, J.B. Bickerstaff, is he the head coach? But yeah, the contrast between that game and watching how intense it was, because it had the feeling of a playoff type game. And then the Lakers and the Timberwolves start up, and you're going, this looks like opening game of the Big Ten basketball tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, Doncic couldn't make a 3-point shot to save his life, and he ended up, of course, finishing with 31 points and still getting a triple-double.
So he kept trying.
Well,
I see.
Well, so did the question. I mean, he tried on offense. I mean, Edwards kept trying, but he just couldn't make a shot. I mean, that was the difference. And Randall was. I mean, again, their star players didn't play well, and again, they're getting beat on the boards, and I was getting sickening. So again, I'll see what they do tonight if they play the Clippers and if they have an opportunity. But they overall.
Do you have hope they can bounce back tonight?
Well, I have hope. I mean, they're.
I'll say they won't.
Slight favorites. I mean. Again, it's not like the Wolves are falling off a cliff, but they're precariously sitting in a spot where it doesn't take too many losses, and all of a sudden you're in the play-in game. So that's the issue, and these guys got to wake up tonight, and last night was awful.
We'll break. We'll come back. One more segment to go. It's the Common Man, Tennessee, and Mark Rosen right here on the Fan.
You're listening to The Fan.
Past here on the Common Man program. Common Tennessee and Mark Rosen here. So it looked like Max Crosby was headed to the Ravens, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they say, you know what? He didn't pass our physical, so we're not going to give you 2 first-round draft picks. We're not going to welcome Max Crosby into the Ravens fold. We're going to sign Trey Hendrickson instead.
Oh, boy.
There are people that think there was some. This needs to be investigated. I don't think they've done anything illegal. You can say that they maybe played the system a little bit, but all I know
they sure
is
played it. Yeah,
they've got a really good edge rusher, and they still have their 2 first-round draft picks. One was for this year, and then one was for next year.
Yeah, and according to Crosby's doctor, he's right on schedule to come back from his meniscus tear. It's I'm not saying it's the same thing that McCarthy had, but there's a period of there's a long healing process, and Crosby's still going through it, and it is, March. It's not, training camp doesn't start next week. But man, it certainly looked like, you talk about a domino effect for not just that team, but for the Raiders and everything else going on. And apparently a couple people reporting that the Ravens held contract negotiations with Hendrickson while Max Crosby was in their facility yesterday. So the plot thickens. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if that's, it's legal. I guess it is, but man, it looked like they got taken there. It's a head scratcher. And I think Crosby is definitely going to heal up and he'll play. And what level he'll play at remains to be seen. But normally, if he's a great pass rusher, and you can usually adjust quicker to that than you can if you're a running back or even a quarterback. In some
how
context.
Unhappy will he be? I mean, he doesn't want to play with the Raiders. That's the reason. Isn't that why he was available? Because he doesn't want to play.
I don't think
he's not a free agent,
about going back. Yeah, I mean, now what do they do? Obviously, he's paid a ton of money, but I don't know if I don't think he wanted to sit down and talk to Tom Brady about it, because Brady's involved in that organization now. But it's pretty crazy to think about everything that they did and giving the other contracts to the other free agents, and I can't recall anything this out of the blue. This kind of a story, and before the league. The bell goes off literally a half hour from now, and that's why they could still make all this stuff happen. So it's pretty crazy.
Rob Brzezinski, who is the acting general manager, also capologist for the Vikings, he did his work. They've carved that. They've redone contracts.
Right.
I think they're now. Are they officially completely under the saddle cap as we get ready for the league year?
I think they're right on target right now. Yes, pretty much. Or they got some money to spend.
The one thing that they really haven't done is they haven't made a splash in free agency. Basically, one player, right? The Pierre guy is the defensive back from Pittsburgh, and by all accounts, from what I see, he's a good player. He's not considered look what we got here. And I was talking to Tennessee early in the first segment. It's it's always fun when you add, really difference-making players, like a lot of teams are. Like you get Trey Hendrickson, you go, whoa,
Right,
how excited are you to get him? Or the Radiators got the center from Baltimore, right?
Mm-hmm.
The guy who just, the money they paid him is it's astronomical. No center is even close to that kind of money. But players that, the other teams are going, and the Vikings have, and I'm not saying they need to, but you just kind of, you hope for one of those big names, but it's been pretty quiet for the Vikings
last year was just the opposite, and the Vikings spent a ton of money, and the fans were all excited because they signed Hargrave, they signed Allen, they did a lot of things, and then as it turns out, the results just weren't there. Even defensively, people are always talking about what happened with J.J. McCarthy, for good reason, but the Vikings defense was not outstanding early in the season. We can recall a lot of games when they could not stop the run. Yeah. Remember the Atlanta Falcons came to town.
They ran roughshod.
Shoot them up. So, the guys that they signed for those big free agent contracts were not getting the job done, and thus, not just because of that game, but they're both gone. There's a lot of different ways to, put a football team together, and, I still think the Vikings will, obviously, they need a punter right now. Good for Ryan Wright. He signed a nice contract and got rewarded after being in the league for a while. So, those are, not necessarily big moves that the Vikings have to make, but you still got a guy that, you got to get a guy that can, give you some good field position. But, the Vikings, the biggest issue for them, of course, is always going to be, this year in particular, is the draft. They got all their draft picks. They start at number 18.
Got 9 altogether. 10. Did they get 9 or 10 with the compensatory pick?
The compensatory made it to 9.
So 9, and that compensatory pick is the highest compensatory pick given this year because they lost the Super Bowl quarterback. I don't know how they make those judgments. Maybe is
not sure
productivity by the player that left, but I think
it might be based off the contract they earned.
Okay.
They obviously every team, and look at Seattle. I don't think they've signed anybody. They lost Walker, the Super Bowl MVP.
Well, they don't need to sign anybody.
Well, they don't. Well, exactly.
You won the big game.
Of course, but the teams are never the same. But at the same time, excuse me.
If I'm a Seattle fan, I'm less concerned about who we sign than I would be if I was a Viking.
Well, of course. I think that's a given. But I think it also comes down to what the Seattle Seahawks have done so well, and what the Vikings have not is hit on almost all their draft picks. Excuse me. And I think that's where Minnesota has to, not be necessarily a big sexy name that you're going to end up getting, but a guy who's going to contribute and play, have a long enough career to make an impact on this team. Otherwise, you look at the team. I'm not saying they're set, but they have, offensively.
They're not that far away. They just need 3 offensive linemen, 3 defensive linemen, a couple linebackers, a couple. Well, maybe they do.
Well, that's Darisaw gets the bounce back.
Yeah, and O'Neal. And the Jackson kid he was
pretty good.
He was all right.
Yeah, for me, it was more than all right.
But then they don't have a center. They don't have a center.
They have Brandell right now.
Brandell never played center until last year.
I understand that. Well, maybe they'll draft one. And that's certainly a possibility, too. Nothing wrong with that.
I hope they do. Maybe Brandell will be one of the few stories where a guy switches over to center and he's the best we've ever seen and he's brilliant. And I don't think he was awful last year.
And then you look at and listen, I understand that the heat Kwesi got a lot of times, but you look at some of the players that they drafted and now are in their second contract go rounds. They had Ingrams of the world, and they're getting paid. Some teams ended up really falling in love with them and rewarding them with big contracts. So, it's interesting how that all did work out. So it's far from a perfect science when teams, that's why you don't want to necessarily give up on draft picks right away, and it doesn't always work out that way. But, you got to, they're huddled over there right now. They're deep into the weeds over at TCO as we speak, and the bell's about to ring at 3:00. So we'll see what Arizona does right away. Indeed, and I don't know what.
I thought I saw somewhere today that Arizona doesn't have to release him at 3:00. That they might have like 4 days, but
I don't know. I don't know what they're up.
They would just be doing just to be Richards.
Well, yeah, exactly. I don't think
that would be a good idea.
Yeah. I don't see an upside for them just hanging on to. He's not coming back there. So anyway, there'll be plenty of stuff to talk about next few days.
Danny Jones got paid.
Boy, did he ever.
$88 million, right? I don't know.
Yeah, for a guy coming off a major injury too. That's. We liked him a lot. I thought, I think the Vikings thought
$50 million is guaranteed.
How about that, Danny Jones? From the depths of the the New York Giants and coming here and sitting around, and then you get, my goodness. I mean, I know they liked him a lot, but they couldn't keep him. I think they got snookered on that one.
Who did?
The Vikings. I mean, I think they felt that Danny, we're talking about Darnold, obviously, but I think they felt that. And then Danny Jones, to his credit, said, look, I got a better chance of playing.
Yeah, so that's on the Vikings. They didn't get snookered. They should have.
Well, yes. Yeah, you're right.
Jones just figured they're going with McCarthy.
Yeah, 100%.
And my guess is, I would hope before maybe he never had a conversation, but if it was me, if I thought something was amiss here, I'd go to Ab and say, are you putting Teneby as the new host here? Am I the guy or am I not the guy? I'd come right out and ask. Maybe Jones did. Maybe said, if I hang around here, am I going to be the starting quarterback or have a chance? And they're going to go, well, no, we're going to give it to McCarthy.
Well, I think the perception, and he looked at Indianapolis, they had Anthony Richardson, who, again, is kind of a man without a team again. A former really high draft pick, and he went, well, I got a much better chance to play.
But what I'm saying is that's the Vikings' decision.
Right.
Because what I'm saying is I don't know if he knew that, but my guess is if he didn't ask, he probably knew it was going to be McCarthy. So the Vikings...
Well, that was my point with that whole discussion with Darnold and or Danny Jones is that the Vikings misread, I think, where obviously, I've said it 1,000 times, they misread where J.J. McCarthy was in his recovery and where he was from a standpoint of being NFL ready to go in there and play, and it cost them dearly.
Does that cause you any concern for the coach and their evaluation process?
No, not necessarily.
No?
I mean, I think this will be a better. I mean, if Murray does indeed end up signing with the Vikings, it's and these discussions will continue on. As I said with Tenna yesterday too, as we go to training camp, and preseason's a whole different animal because those guys basically don't play very much at all into the regular season. And how does KOC judge? Do I turn the reins over to Kyler Murray, or do I? We drafted a guy to be our franchise quarterback. We feel he's moved the needle. That's what we're going to look at in OTAs and everything else. And physically, he's good. He got physically stronger during weight room the past year. And I mean, he can withstand more hits. He can withstand this. But to make that judgment, I mean,
okay. You guys said you talked about this yesterday. Can you tell me exactly? You guys aren't. Different opinion. Tell me, do you think Kyler Murray's basically being guaranteed he's going to be the starter? And Rosen, you don't think that's the case? I
wouldn't say guarantee,
okay.
But I don't think it's a competition. Like, Kyler Murray's coming in as the starter.
Okay.
They might not phrase it that way. They might not say it that way because they want to be kind to J.J. McCarthy. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just said, yeah, he's going to be our starter, and we still need more time for J.J. McCarthy to develop. But I don't think it's going to be a pure competition. Like, whoever performs better in training camp is going to be the guy.
And you think it is going to be?
I do.
Okay.
I just don't think that. To me, to send that message to McCarthy to say, well, we're bringing in Kyler Murray, and competition is great. They need much better competition than Max Brosmer or Carson Wentz. And Kyler Murray does represent that. And a lot of people have, and he's got his detractors. Kyler Murray's got plenty of detractors around the league.
Well,
internally.
He was did he win Offensive Rookie of the Year? And then since then, he's just been okay.
Yeah.
He's had moments. I think he's been, the playoff game, he was simply brutal.
Right.
Or no, I'm thinking of the guy wrong guy.
Okay, I can't remember the last time they were in the playoffs.
Yeah, no.
You're thinking of C.J. Stroud?
Yeah, I was thinking of Stroud. He was
oh, my goodness.
But Murray he's been hot and cold and more cold than hot. That's why the Cardinals
needs to be consistent. And we need to be consistent as well.
That's exactly.
And that's why I think it will be, a open competition. I don't necessarily think it's going to be one way or another.
That means he
ain't coming here if it's an open competition.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
He's got other options out there.
Not really. Maybe the Pittsburgh. I guess.
The Jets would have been an option. Atlanta would have been an option. Obviously, these teams, even Vegas right now, they're going to draft a quarterback, but that's not a guarantee.
Well, I think he also feels he can come in and win the job. I mean, I think that's the other thing is that he feels confident enough that he's got a lot more experience, and he's 28 and he's played in the league for quite a while, and he's got an advantage over McCarthy.
But then why didn't Cousins feel that way? Why was he so bitter? Remember when Cousins, when they drafted Penix, apparently he was all upset. It's like, well, if you're good enough. That's why I didn't side with Cousins on this. So too bad. They're looking at the future as well. If you're the pro, beat him out.
Yeah.
Show him. So I guess Kyler Murray could be, if you're right in that they've told Murray, You're still going to have to win the job.
Right.
Hopefully he's kind enough to go, I can beat him. Yeah, I'll come and sign. Sure, I can beat him. But
well, again, keep in mind, it's a 1-year thing. It's not like this is the end of Kyler Murray's career. And if it doesn't work out here, he could do a Danny Jones. He could do whatever. And if he does play a little bit or not, he can still put himself on the open market a year from now. If the Vikings decide to go that route. So, I mean, this is not the end of, he's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not nearing the end of his career. He's only 28.
That's true.
And he's got 1 year here to prove something. And if he doesn't get a chance to play here, he may just go, I'll take my ball and go somewhere else. It's just, that's the way the game is played right now.
We've signed Aaron Rodgers.
No. This one's not surprising at all. In fact, I think it had already kind of been previously reported, but I guess it's becoming more official today. Adam Schefter tweets that Vikings are releasing defensive tackle Javon Hargrave today.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. That's not unexpected. I mean,
what was your favorite Jason Hargrave moment?
I can't think of one.
Javon. What was your favorite?
I don't know if I have one.
Yeah.
I guess we're also waiting. I mean, I think it'll be official. I mean, Friday is the day, I believe, Harrison's for Hitman Harry to officially announce he's not coming back. Unless he's
what
going.
do your sources tell you?
I don't have sources. I haven't seen the contract. I don't think I think that he said his goodbyes. And
I thought he did too, but you know what? Sometimes you have second thoughts.
Absolutely.
You think, you know what? I played pretty well. And the thing is, within sports is your whole life just sports. Once you decide to retire, it's pretty hard to come back. And, even if you do come back, you get to a certain age, and it doesn't matter if you want to come back, you're just not going to. It's as we know, it's not like if you were a certified public accountant and retired, you could come back 20 years later. But in football, you can't do it. No. So maybe he says, gosh, I'm going to miss it. Maybe I've ought to go one more year. So maybe he does resign. I don't know.
Yeah. Until he hears it's an open competition with J.J. McCarthy. I'm out. If J.J. got a chance to play again, I'm done.
Yeah. It's certainly, by all appearances, in his last game here, and his reaction on the field and his reaction from his teammates and the fans, it certainly felt like he was saying his goodbyes and that he was ready for the next step in his life. But, guys get, they get antsy sometimes. It's not nearing training camp, and he's going to have to make his decision before that. But probably, again, by Friday. But I would think people would be shocked if he decided to come back for one more go-round.
Brant texts, as long as there isn't a new Call of Duty coming out this year, I'd sign Murray. And, that's probably one of the things that the Vikings certainly would take under
That's pretty good.
consideration. This one, you're getting ripped.
Okay.
Why is Rosen so worried about whatever message is sent to McCarthy? This is the big leagues, big business, historic franchise, National Football League. They can't be worried about feelings.
I don't know what you mean. What did I say?
You were saying, if you give Murray the starting job, what's JJ going to do?
No, I just don't think they're going to give him. I mean, it's not a question of what JJ thinks about that. I think from the Vikings' perspective, they want JJ McCarthy to shine. They don't want to just have him say, well, look, and you're going to back up Kyler Murray all year. This is year 3, right? I mean, it's time to join the rest of that rookie class, as I've talked about, to be more than competent in this league. And you can't just use the injury bug
unless they feel that he can't.
Well, if they feel that way, that there might be internal discussions over there going, look, I've seen enough. I just don't know if this guy can figure it out. I don't believe that. I don't believe they have done that, but that's what you have. I think a lot of it will be determined in, OTAs and mini camps and sort of thing. They'll see where he's at a lot more than, if he's progressed and made those progressions and figured things out a little bit more. But no, it's not a question of J.J. McCarthy's feelings. It's, I think, what the Vikings want out of a guy they drafted to be a franchise quarterback.
Kyler Murray been released. We got him.
Kevin Seifert, Alec Lewis, Ben Gessling all kind of tweeted at the same time, but Seifert's is first, so I'll read his.
Good.
The Vikings will make a procedural move today on Harrison Smith, making him a post-June 1st release. It's not an indication that he's decided to retire. Instead, it will give him more time to figure out his plans. The Vikings would certainly take him back if that's what he wants. And then, as Gessling writes, Smith had a $25 million base salary guarantee for 2027 that was set to trigger later this week. But the Vikings would still welcome his return, and they've talked with him about the move.
Well, that's interesting. I think the reading between the lines there, Tenna, is as well is the fact that if Harry was going to, 100% for sure retire, then why even go through this? I mean, that's what I'm saying is that
he wants to see what kind of team they're going to have first.
Well,
and that's why
you're coming back to win a big game. You ain't coming back to be 9-8
So
again.
based on the players they draft, you think he's going to be able to make up his mind?
And which quarterback decision they make?
You just said he said all of his goodbyes and he was gone. I said he might get the itch, and here he has the itch.
Well,
see, we don't know.
That's what I'm saying. If he wanted to retire, he would have done so already. That's good news. If he wants to come back, that's great. I mean,
was he really that good last year, though?
I don't.
Well, he had the one game. He was really good.
Yeah, he had one game. He was really good.
Yeah.
I know. I know we love him, and I do. I love him like a brother. But is he really that? He's going in his 15th year. Is he really that good?
I think he's not like he's.
I guess maybe he's better than any other options we have.
Oh, that might be the case as well.
Yeah.
That's for.
I saw your Twins club. Was it Rodriguez that they didn't bring up with the big club? They've already decided they're not going to. One of their young.
Is that right?
They have three young.
Yeah,
three young
players.
outfielders that they think are all going to come up together.
Right.
And one of them for sure is in, and maybe not. And apparently he was really impressive in spring training to this point.
Right.
I thought that's what I read, but because of veteran outfielders on the roster, it's like, what veteran outfielders other than Buxton do you look at as being,
correct?
I don't know, but again, they're there with him every day. They see these kids and maybe they think, well, because oftentimes in spring training you're excelling against other younger guys that aren't the vets, so maybe that's part of their thinking. But I'm willing with this team, just bring up with the payroll is low as it is, with a lot of the guys that you've kind of wanted to count on over the years being hot and cold. I would just bring all the young guys up.
Well, one of them, I just looked at the box score today. The Twins exhibition play. They won 2-1 over Detroit.
There we go.
Culpepper. I can't remember his first name.
It's not Dante. I know that.
No, it's not Dante. He's hitting .316 right now. I went 2 for 2.
Did he rehab outside of an Orange Julius at the strip mall?
It's happened before. That's what I've heard.
And Bradley had 7 strikeouts, pitched 5 innings. Taylor Rogers is back with the team. He had a couple of strikeouts.
Sounds like we're starting to put it all together.
I think we are. Yeah, but you talk about the young players. The Culpepper kid is one that to keep your eye on as a shortstop and someone that can play. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I'm looking at the lineup today. The guys are going to be in the starting lineup, and Royce Lewis is hitting $176 right now.
He's got talent.
He's got plenty of talent.
Remember when he said,
"No slumps"?
There's no such thing. I don't know what you're talking about. There's no such thing as a slump.
Not for him.
Now in the longest slumps in Twins history, the top 30, he's got 2 of them.
So, how about that?
Good for him.
Yeah.
So by this time tomorrow, we'll be talking about Kyler Murray in a Vikings uniform.
Not necessarily, but I mean today's got to be. Arizona's it's the ball's in their court first, and the Vikings hit. It's not like there's going to be this huge negotiation. I mean,
You think he's in though with the Vikings?
I believe he is. Yeah. I mean, listen. If Kyler ends up going, you know what? I think I got a better shot at starting in Pittsburgh and playing there. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out.
Well, if he did, then we'd get A-Rod here.
Would you like A-Rod?
I don't know. I mean, it's a question of liking it. I think he would present an interesting dilemma. I think that in A-Rod coming here, I think he'd want more assurances that he'd be starting than even Kyler Murray. You got something there?
No.
Oh, I thought you were. Oh.
No. I'm just.
There's so much stuff happening.
I'm just getting ready to sign off a hip cricket and turn it over to big ticket. I care about my fellow workers. I always make sure I leave the place as I found it.
I know you do.
Nice and clean, and then I just want to make sure. Well, the biggest thing is that I think when you send texts, whose ever name is on the hip cricket on the text message goes to the person you respond to, and I just want to make sure that I'm out.
You're out.
Hey,
we'll
see you tomorrow at 2:00, correct?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Tenby, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you today, and we'll be back again tomorrow at 12 noon. Stick around, the aforementioned Big Ticket. He's next, along with JG, right here on the Fan.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Minnesota! And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Well done, young man!
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.